Focus.
So
Focus, calling
Sarah,
the meeting to order.
Sarah, I worked on this a little bit this afternoon, and I thought I had sent it to you, but I guess I sent you the old copy.
No, this is the one that I said to you, do you have a final draft? And you said, no, it's still in process. So I printed it out just so we can finalize it. Here's the drill.
Oh, okay.
We really need to get this letter finished.
Well, it
And
looks
I'm
pretty good.
sending it
Yeah.
to Jennifer tonight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tomorrow morning, it will go on Township stationery because it's actually Bob who's doing this, sending it. It'll be sent snail mail. It'll also be turned in, are you ladies listening?
Yes.
It'll be turned into a PDF'd to Practical Energy. And Steve Norsini, late in the afternoon, will be calling them. We're
Tomorrow.
trying to get a placeholder for next Monday's meeting, which is when the
Next Monday, which
it's
is,
a commissioners meeting,
yeah.
which means if we can get
Seven.
it as a placeholder on the 7th, it will be presented by the township staff. I don't have a yes on that yet, but that's what we're trying to do.
We're accelerating 2 weeks.
Because we want to get it in
Yep.
so the commissioners will
Okay.
even look at it, because the
Okay.
worry is that on the 21st, it may get caught up in all the issues. We're trying to sort of slip
Yes.
it under the
So
door.
the 21st is when you're
The set
meaning to
that,
be there, or, yeah?
yes,
Can I just ask you
Yes.
to take one step back?
yes.
I wanted to know, Becca, if you were okay with.
No, it's out.
Ally.
That's okay.
I'm sorry.
We look-
Sorry, Ally. If you were okay with this selection, how close is this to where you ended up?
Yeah, I think I'm fine with this.
Okay.
Not with the
'Cause, I
letter,
mean,
with this,
with-
with practical energy.
Yeah.
With the choice.
With the choice.
Yeah.
Any
You're
reservations
okay.
that we should know about?
No, not that I know of.
Okay.
No.
Okay, thank you.
I printed it out, took it to Kinko's and had it double-sided and printed it and really had time to really go over it. I don't do well at reading stuff on the computer, particularly on a laptop where it's all very small.
You have to be patient.
And it was really, my impression is, they're good. We merge very well.
Mhm.
And their prep time to get up to speed would be minimal.
Yep.
So,
What I did was, I thought, as I looked it over, Dan, I thought it got really confusing with the step 3, step 4, that kind of thing. So I thought what we really needed was 3 steps rather than 2.
Okay.
So the first paragraph is the same, then the bolded one is the same. And then number 1 would be, so it's really number 2 moved up, because I thought starting with the last paragraph of your proposal probably wasn't a very good way to start. So then I said, costs at step 1 and 2 of your proposal include the kickoff meeting with the green team and 1 or 2 focus group meetings with stakeholders. And then I brought in that we think it will take more than 2 focus group meetings with stakeholders and perhaps some one-to-one meetings to effectively collect and address stakeholder input. We understand that more meetings involve additional time and are willing to pay for these additional meeting times. And then I said, if this, I think this is yours, if one-to-one meetings with stakeholders were also deemed necessary, can you please provide the cost of each meeting for a total of 4 one-to-one meetings? I think we should probably make that a more positive statement rather than starting with if.
Yeah, I was just going to jump in and say that as well.
So maybe we can go on to the rest of it and see. And then paragraph 2 was very similar to paragraph 1 in this, in the meeting, in the one that you have on the board. In the last paragraph of your proposal, you stated PES can provide support throughout the planning process for additional outreach materials and updates to engage the community in the planning process for an additional charge to be agreed. We are definitely interested in having support with education and outreach materials during the development of the energy transition plan, specifically for stakeholders, municipal officials, and township residents. We feel it is important to introduce the township to your firm and your proposal and inform them of the progress made in addressing the goals in the RFP. And then we say, in this regard, the Green Team was impressed with the Delaware County toolbox you included. We can see that you have a great deal of information available in a very understandable format. We would like your assistance in formatting some of this information as part of the education and outreach effort during the development of the plan. And then number 3, in steps 3 and 4, does review mean a face-to-face meeting with the Green Team stakeholders and township officials? If not, what would be the added cost for 3 group meetings with stakeholders where strategies in steps 3 and 4 would be discussed? And then, in other words, 25, 50, and 75% completion of the plan, in line with the meeting requirements selection in the RFP.
If you separate item 3 from item
And I'll
1,
tell you what, I'm confused,
Okay.
totally.
All right.
Well,
How many meetings
There-
are you asking? How many additional meetings?
I mean, it seems like
Well,
all 3
well,
items address sort of the same problem,
That's-
right?
That's why I'm confused. It seems like
Well-
couldn't you simplify this? An option that we think may be necessary is to have additional meetings. What will be the cost of each additional meeting? And then we
Okay.
know they're $800 a meeting or they're $700 a meeting. Because we don't know that the stakeholders are gonna need one-on-one meetings.
I know,
Well-
and that's, I just was wanting to leave open that and to get some costings for that.
Well, see,
If they
with my
not be
emails
egregious,
that
then we
went to
include-
Steve, went with Steve, he said you have to have it nailed down, the number of meetings
Yes.
you're gonna have and the
Abs-
amount
Right.
per
Absolutely.
The
meeting.
number of meetings and with whom? Each of those.
No, the
Right.
number of meetings.
Well,
Any-
and how much it would cost. So one of the things, so after I sent out the email, I guess it was the first draft letter, then Steve wrote to me and said, you mean they didn't meet the requirements of the RFP? They didn't list the number of meetings at 25%, 50%, and 75%. So then I went back over and I said, well, basically they have 6 meetings listed.
Right.
They have a kickoff meeting.
They have
They have
the focus group.
Yeah, so that's, and we are gonna ask them for 2.
And the commissioners meeting. But
Right.
That's the
then-
last.
Then that's only 3.
Right.
We need 3 more at 25, 50, and 75. And they were only, as you said, they're only kind of referred to as reviews.
Yeah.
So we want to confirm
Mhm.
that review actually is a meeting and
Right.
it's included in the cost
The
that
cost,
they give.
yes.
I mean, I think
What do you
also
think,
the way,
Robin?
I don't know who said this is about the total of 4 one-to-one meetings,
Mhm.
but I'd be concerned about not allowing for one-to-one meetings because I think the depth that they can get into there
Mhm.
with an individual stakeholder will be much greater in terms of their energy usage, their planning for, you know, future efficiency and.
Stakeholders that we have proposed.
We proposed, I can tell you,
Sure.
Mainline Health
Stakeholders.
and, I can tell you, Mainline Health
Mhm.
and Penn,
Yeah.
Villanova representing the universities, the churches,
Wayne Business,
Wayne Business,
we had,
and
the school
and the
district.
north or south Wayne,
Wayne.
and, but they're in flux,
Yeah.
according to it.
Yeah. But I think, I'm just thinking like a one-on-one sit-down we might be include the facilities person or whoever,
Right.
and it could be
Right.
at just a much more deep.
Right, the focus group meetings will introduce them to what we're requesting, and they will then go off with their own action items and want to get back to us. And
Yeah,
at that
I
point,
wouldn't be
maybe
confident
a
that-
one-to-one meeting
Yeah.
would be necessary.
Right.
I'm just thinking it might be-
Scheduling at their convenience.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
But I would limit them to a certain amount, otherwise the price is
Oh,
going to
I
get
agree.
very,
Right, so-
very high.
So that's when so Dan had suggested 4, and Dan had said, say 4. Well, we
So
can't-
that's 4 plus 6 making 10, that's what I don't understand.
Yeah.
well, that.
exactly.
How
that's-
many are you talking about?
At 4 plus 3 if review is not a meeting included in their
Right.
price that they propose. If not, if the cost is included in those reviews.
Well, could you just
then-
simply say something like, you talk about review, does that mean a meeting with the green team?
Well,
Just
that's what I-
ask it direct.
No, we are. Then then the question is, if not, if it's not included in the cost, what would be the added cost for 3 group meetings with stakeholders at step, at 25, 50, and 75%?
I was not under the, and maybe this is a question, I was not under the impression that the reviews, that I thought the reviews were the green team and the township.
Well, and they're televised.
And they're televised, so you
So-
don't have to have the stakeholders there.
But, so it would be Practical Energy Solutions and the Green Team and the,
Township staff.
They're
Yeah.
coming and giving us progress.
so that's what we're asking is, because it really is not clear in the RFP.
Well,
in
I
there.
saw that, but
So that's what we're asking is.
I think my impression is that this is very confusing. I'm not quite
Well-
sure what you're asking. It needs to be boiled
Right.
down.
Well, so, yeah, so that's why I broke it down into 3, was because I thought with it in 2, it really was, I thought it was very confusing.
Well, yeah, I still think it should be 2 though, because we're asking about adding additional meetings, whether they're one-on-one or 25, 50, 75% meetings. The only caveat is that we want to first confirm that the 25, 50, and 75 are not already paid for.
Right,
Well, should that
so you
be
can move the
first?
number 3,
So just move up number 3 to under number 1.
make it a separate paragraph?
Yes. Let's see, here we were talking 2 focus group meetings, perhaps one-to-one meetings. Okay, that's true. We are kickoff meeting.
We know the kickoff meeting is the township and the green team.
Okay,
Right.
What I had originally written had said, costs at steps 1, 2, and 5. It's clear that they cover the kickoff meeting, 1 focus group meeting, step 2, and the commissioners meeting in step 5. However, it is unclear if additional meetings are covered by costs given in steps 3 and 4. Do these costs cover 2 additional stakeholder meetings where it indicates a review of strategies for energy conservation and local renewable energy storage?
So it's 2 questions, isn't it? 1, is a review a meeting? And 2, is it a cost? And 3,
Right.
this is 3, has it already been included or is it separate? 4, what will it be?
And what would the cost be
If
for
it's not
each
already
additional meeting? It's a much, I think you're right on, Mary, it becomes very compact.
Right, well, I thought that's what I had written originally, but maybe.
Yeah, when I read it over, I felt it was very confusing to have steps 1, 2, and 5
is step 5?
That's the commissioners' meeting.
I thought there were to be 6 meetings, so what is the 6th?
Well, no, this is how they presented their process with 5 steps.
So,
But-
so let me go over it with you. Step 1, conduct a kickoff meeting with the team and Radnor Township Green team and staff to review the 2 deliverables in step 1. Step 2, there is the conduct stakeholder focus group meetings with number of meetings determined by the number and type of participants. And then at the bottom, they say, step 2 total for 1 meeting and then an additional price for 2 meetings.
Right.
So that's 3.
So that's in there.
That's
That's
in
already-
there,
that's-
yeah, it's
yeah.
already in there.
Okay.
And then under step 3, this is where it gets confusing whether they're really having meetings with us. So it's develop a prioritized list of key energy conservation and efficient strategies for review with green team, stakeholder focus groups, and township officials. I'm just not sure that review means they're gonna meet with us.
Right.
If they are, then that's,
But Ruth, it says review with.
Well,
That says to me, we're gonna have a meeting.
well, we need to make sure, because we want to make sure everybody has access. And am I hearing,
Well,
we
then
don't
can't-
necessarily want the stakeholders to come, it would just be us
oh no,
and
well,
the
it
township?
does, I mean, it does include green team, stakeholders, and focus
Okay.
groups, but,
Okay.
you know, they could just,
Well, then we just need to ask them to clarify that.
That's
Does
really what
review
you're
with
after.
me.
You're
I
looking
don't know,
for
The more I look at it,
clarification.
I'm thinking, well, yeah, review with us, it's a meeting. But if there's enough confusion here, then maybe we
and then
just
the
need them to
same thing
clarify.
under step 4, develop prioritized list, blah, 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 and then for review with green team, stakeholder focus groups, and township officials.
Well, so the part of this is you're asking for clarification as to what review
Exactly,
means.
exactly.
And if we need additional meetings, what would be the cost of each
Right.
additional meeting?
Right, and so that's what number 3 addresses. In steps 3 and 4, does review mean a face-to-face meeting with the green team stakeholders and township officials?
Well, then do you need all the rest?
No, probably not. You could,
What do you think, Robin?
we could delete the first sentence, where you're talking about costs in steps 1, 2, and 3. Because that's clear that those meetings, though we do want to say we want 2 focus group meetings.
And, you know, I'm just thinking, I mean, and I, you know, I defer to you all if this doesn't work, but I mean, basically, I'm wondering if you want to try and flip this and say, here are the meetings and other interactions that we are seeking. And, you know, the green team kickoff, you know, list them.
Mhm.
And then just say, does your proposal include these? If not,
Okay.
what would be
Yeah.
the additional cost to?
Yeah, I like that.
Then
Could I type?
we're clear, here's what we want, and then we can add, you know, our assumption is, that there would be one-on-one, you know, conversations with, key stakeholders.
Well, I
You know,
don't,
if
I don't
that's
think
not
we can
in there.
assume that. I think,
Well, I mean, our assumption is that our assumption is that that's what we think is needed. So
Right, yeah.
if that is additional work at your end, please provide a cost for that, for, you know, for something. That way, we're just not sort of asking them to clarify if they are doing what we, you know, want.
So, for number 2, we could say this, as indicated in, under planned meetings in the RFP, what is that section that lists the 6 meetings? I think it's planned,
I don't think they have one.
yes, we do.
In our
In
RFP, do you
Oh,
have it,
okay,
Sarah?
in our
Correct the spelling
RFP.
later.
Right.
Do you
as-
have
as
it in
increment.
your,
Here's, I have the RFP with me. meeting
Okay,
requires
stakeholder
kickoff meeting with the
focus
green team and township
Focus
staff.
group, yeah, meeting.
Then B is meeting with stakeholder focus group.
Yeah, I would
Right,
just
that's-
bullet them.
And then 3 meetings with the green team and the stakeholders at 25, 75, and 100% completion of the deliverables.
Yeah, 3.
1,
meetings
2, 3, 4,
at
5, 6 is what we've asked
25,
for.
Yes.
Yeah, 50 and 75% completion of the plan and final commissioners meeting. So it's clear.
Can you say in addition, and mention the one-on-ones at that point?
Mhm.
In addition, it's our
Right,
expectation.
and also,
Well, the outreach stuff shouldn't be in the first paragraph. I think that should come, isn't the most important thing, these meetings,
Yeah,
rather than presenting the materials, preparing materials.
so we could reorder it.
Right, well, that's easier.
Yes.
So, can
Your, okay, first, your proposal,
Well, I think you could
Just
leave
say,
that
please
just the way
clarify
it
if
is.
your proposal-
wait a minute,
Please.
Dave, estimate, cost estimate
I think you're making it too
for
complicated.
2
Dave.
focus groups. We want to nail them down on 2 focus groups. We want that in the final,
All right.
cost. We want to make sure.
But then do you have to have all the rest of this?
No, I'm
No.
deleting everything that comes after,
Oh, all right.
all right? I'm
Yeah.
deleting that.
In the first sentence, I think we could use a comma after RFP so that they understand that we're requesting.
Yep, yep. We'll have you correct our grammar.
Then you can delete the whole rest of the paragraph.
Oh, yeah, we're not done yet, but you're right.
And I think an S after request for
First,
requests.
we desire,
We
to,
require,
we
we request, we
We
requested.
request. Well, we didn't
didn't
request,
request
we only
more than one
requested
meeting.
one. As, you provided as an option in your proposal.
Yeah, let me interrupt. In the second line, we say, as indicated under plan B, blah, 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 RFP, the green team requested, I guess, 6 meetings. A kickoff meeting, they didn't, okay. The green team requested 6, okay, that's us, never mind.
Yeah.
Ignore me. I thought we were talking about what they were offering.
Okay. First, green team requests, request 2 focus group meetings.
Just see what this means.
Second,
So after the meeting, I think I would get rid of the as you provided as an option in your proposal. 2 focus group meetings.
well, right, so,
Well, go
so-
ahead and finish what you.
well, I just want to make sure that option
It should be
is
the present
included in
and-
the final costing. Right?
Right.
And I mean, I haven't added up all the numbers yet.
So you're basically asking them to add the second meeting that they put forward as a possibility.
Yes.
If
Yeah,
it's
that-
not already in the,
It wasn't in our RFP, but we want them to.
Right.
Right.
And they've offered it, and they included it in the cost.
Yes, so it's included.
There.
I think your real question is, does review equal
Right.
meeting?
Right, now.
Would you please, we've read your report, would you please
Right.
Please clarify
clarify
Right.
whether
Whether-
That's our
a
second
review
In
As
steps
the term is
3
used in
and
steps 3, 4,
4,
and 5 means.
of your proposal, or is there a heading for that section of approach?
In the,
Under approach. Um, Does review of, and then that's,
progress?
How would you say does review?
Does the
mean
term
a
review-
meeting?
Does the term review equal a meeting?
Mean
A meeting, a face-to-face meeting?
face-to-face meeting with
face
the listed
to
parties.
face meeting with,
No, you don't have to say who it's with.
okay.
Yeah, and it's.
Do you want to talk about what's being reviewed? Because it's.
Well, if they look at steps 3 and 4, I mean, this is their proposal.
Does a review mean a face-to-face meeting?
That's all
Well,
you, because
you
you,
could say-
I think your
So it's-
thought was, are they gonna just send us some data,
And
or are we gonna
is
meet?
this
Right.
meeting covered by the costs
I would say included in
provided?
the cost.
What
I would say included in the cost.
included?
well,
I have a question about that. Why wouldn't it be? They said that they would
They've
have.
already given the price.
Well, again, we
It's
don't
review,
know if
but we don't know
review is a
review.
face-to-face meeting.
I know, but
Right.
we know that whatever they think a review is, they've included the cost. So all we need to know is, well, is that a meeting or not?
is
Because
it-
if it's not a meeting, then we've got to reopen the whole cost
Right.
thing too.
well, so if you, in that second sentence, before the first, if you just say, our expectation is that these will be face-to-face meetings.
Okay,
Okay.
instead of.
Well, I like that.
Yes,
So if
don't
you
even
do
ask
that,
the
like,
question.
All right,
before
all right.
first,
Good
you know,
point, good point.
Please advise us
that your
if this.
proposal does not
Our-
include that.
Yes, right. Our
Please
expectation
correct us
is
if-
that
Please advise us if this is incorrect.
Mm-hmm.
face-to-face
Please confirm.
meetings will be, or are,
I mean, I would
Well-
put that sentence, I would put our expectation right after your first sentence, which ends with meeting.
Right.
So that's where I would put it, because all of those meetings above there
Okay.
are expected to be face-to-face. So our expectation is that these meetings will all be face-to-face. And so right after meeting,
Okay.
you see,
all right.
not there,
Not
but
the-
at
the one on the
at
line.
Oh,
period,
there.
at the period, like after.
No,
No,
third
come
line.
down to
Yeah.
see
Third
where
line.
meeting is.
Oh,
There
there,
you go.
there.
Right there.
Okay.
Then what you, yeah, so you would say, yeah.
Thank God you have Microsoft.
Well, what else would I have? A dreadful Google Docs, which I hate.
Yes, I know.
Can I
Expectation
add
is
something
that
in
these
this
meetings
paragraph?
will be face-to-face.
Right.
It is a presentation to the Board of Commissioners.
Right.
And that was in the RFP. You say, and the final commissioners meeting. No, and your presentation to the Board of Commissioners.
And the final meeting will be a presentation to the
Yes.
Board of Commissioners.
Yes.
So you would say that face-to-face and.
Final meeting.
No, you've got it,
No.
that in the sentence above.
Yeah.
A focus group meeting, 3 meetings at 25, 50, and 75%, and the presentation to the Board of
And the
Commissioners.
final meeting will be a presentation.
And the final meeting will be a present, so that, put
And the
final
final
back
meeting,
in.
which will be,
And-
The final meeting
Down below.
And the final
drafted
meeting.
by
Final
committee,
meeting
so much
will
fun.
be a presentation to the Board of Commissioners.
Well, Sarah, now I think it's been put in the wrong place.
Yeah, I
Well, well, okay, good.
do too. So what I think it should be is,
Well,
as
I'm-
indicated in the
I'm-
planned meeting,
Okay.
there would be a kickoff meeting, a focus group meeting, 3 meetings.
And the
at-
presentation, you don't even have to say, and the presentation
To to the Board of
Board of
Commissioners.
Right.
Commissioners, period.
Right.
We can do the spell check to the
Yeah.
Board of Commissioners.
Yeah,
Right.
Right.
our expectation is all these
Meetings will be face to face. And then you
Period.
leave the
Period.
final
Yeah.
meeting out.
Yeah,
Right.
and then it's just, if your
Um,
proposal does not
Do we want to be?
include,
Oh, I don't think we need to second guess them on that. We just are expecting them, from what they've written,
Right.
them to be.
We're not
made.
gonna ask them to
We're
clarify
asking
that
them
their
to-
use of the word
yeah,
review
review,
means
clarify.
Well, no,
face-to-face.
no, no,
That's a
we-
different-
that's different, that's different, that's in steps 3 and 4, we're just talking up here in
Okay,
the first
okay.
paragraph on 1, 2, and 5.
So I see first the green team, and so you need to know what is
Right.
the cost. What is the cost for the additional meeting?
Let's see, please confirm that the quote-unquote review of deliverables under
What,
steps 3 and 4 of your proposal
are face to face?
are face-to-face meetings.
And how many meetings is that?
Well, it sounds like only 2.
Well, we ought to put that in there, confirm that.
The 2 reviewed, the 2.
Well, we use the word review in step 3, step 4, and step 5.
Right.
Well, we're just talking about steps 3 and 4, because we
Well-
know 5 is clearly a meeting.
Well,
Well-
all it says is review
No.
draft plan, it's the same language, review draft plan.
Step 5 is the commissioners' meeting.
No,
It's
No.
review
It comes up
draft plan with
twice.
stakeholder groups, township
The
officials, and green
the
team.
second bullet, 5, is review draft plan with stakeholder groups, ... And then bullet 3, 4, 5 in step 5 is present final plan.
Yep, so they've got both of those for $8,500.
Ah.
So the word
Okay.
review pops up 3 times.
Thank
the
you, Mary, I
concept.
caught that. All right, so,
I
please
don't think I
confirm.
would refer to the steps in the proposal.
Yeah, I don't think you need to do
I
the
think
steps either.
you've got the number of meetings outlined, so I think that's good.
Sorry, for 3 reviews, right?
Yeah, you could take out
Under-
under steps 3 and 4 of your
Well-
proposal on face-to-face meetings.
I
can we
don't
just
know.
ask, can you confirm that your proposal includes those?
I
I think
don't,
that's less confusing. If I just saw the steps 3 and 4, I think it would be harder for them to go back and look through because they probably don't remember.
well, that's why but I want to be specific where I have seen the word review. And this is where I want to nail them down on whether the cost covers that as a meeting. And so I would include steps 5 here. If review is only being used under,
Here's review.
It's step 3 and
Review.
You've got
There.
essentially the same language in step 3,
3,
4, and
4,
5.
5.
Right.
With the word review. So why don't we say, please confirm that the 3 reviews of deliverables
right,
under steps 3, 4, and 5 of your proposal are
Right.
face-to-face.
Face-to-face meetings.
Bingo.
Right.
You know, period, rather.
right.
The 3,
All right. Our face-to-face meetings,
Period.
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 Then in addition, the green team appreciates the suggestion of a second focus group meeting.
Right.
Yes,
I'd like you
Yes.
to add that to your,
right, okay. The green team
Appreciate.
appreciates.
What does that mean? What are we
Would
asking?
like,
we said one focus group meeting,
Yeah.
but we think they're
They-
right, that 2 are a good idea, right?
right, that's right.
So,
Well, they just gave it as an option.
Well, so we appreciate it.
well, who's paying for it?
Well,
Well,
we said.
They've included the cost.
They've included that
Yeah.
cost.
They gave us, yeah, and they
As an
included,
option.
the cost of 2 in their final total on the assumption that we
It
would go
did.
for
So-
2.
There.
Have you confirm that, Mary?
Yeah, it's right here.
Yeah,
It's
it's
confirmed.
Yeah, I even did the
Okay.
math just now. So.
Okay, thank you.
Without a calculator.
Good.
You're not,
Green
Well,
team.
can you say the green
Yeah,
team
just-
requests
avoid
2
the
focus
things.
group meetings?
Yes, request to,
Yeah.
as you,
As you
comma,
proposed
as
in
you
your
provided as an
RFP.
option in your proposal. Then leave it, then
Okay.
delete second in steps 3 and 4 on the
Yeah.
approach.
And then-
Request two,
Focus meetings,
provided.
as an option,
meetings,
yeah, perfect, period.
comma,
as an option
comma,
in your proposal.
comma.
And
Okay.
then do we want to say anything about 1-to-1?
Yes, I think we do.
Okay, I got it.
What's that?
All right, so we delete all of this. Pedantry. Request feedback in 2 areas, okay. Okay, does this work, guys?
So, but I would not make the last paragraph the first. I would,
Right, so it just
Move
flip
that
them, so
whole
1
thing
would be
down.
2 and 2 would be 1.
Oh, wait,
so you're talking about this educational stuff.
well, that's under 1.
But is that the most important?
No.
Isn't asking about the
The order
money
of
the
priority.
most important?
Yeah, I think if we start out
Okay.
with, you know, in the last paragraph of your proposal, it's kind
Right, okay,
of, so
gotcha.
put that at the end. I wouldn't put it there.
No, not there.
Why not?
Because you've interrupted it with reviews of deliverables.
We need the 2 underlined paragraphs to be back to be
To
flushed
be
with each
back.
other.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I-
just it's up a few lines.
I intercalated.
You did what?
I intercalated.
I don't know
I don't know either.
what that means. Okay,
I
all
just-
right.
Just
All
read
right.
that the other day.
So this
So
will be
are we
2,
gonna
so this will be
mention
1,
the
this will be 2.
focus group, the one-on-one meetings?
Right.
Okay.
Do you ask if they might need? So
I think
if,
we should say that our assumption is that some one-on-one
Well, we're gonna have to
meetings.
put a stake in the ground and say how many.
yes.
All right.
That's-
So
they're-
I threw
So I would
out
say a
4.
maximum.
Well,
4.
maximum, we can put a
Well,
maximum in there.
although they're gonna have to give us a bid based on the number, you know, they're gonna have to revise their total based on the number of 1-to-1 meetings.
Right.
So if, and I'm just asking this question, if it turns out they only need 3, do they get paid for 4 or do they just get paid for 3?
No, they get paid for 3. So you ask for what the option is for each one-to-one.
Well, in presenting this, do we need an absolute figure? Or
Oh,
Yes.
we're gonna have to figure out
Yes.
what the top number is
top number, so we need a
to
maximum.
give,
Right.
so it has to be a maximum.
Maximum, right, but
Well,
we
and
may not use
Should
it all.
one-to-one meetings be,
Okay.
should you feel that one-to-one meetings is necessary, what is the cost per meeting?
Well, do we know for sure that they are not expecting to have one-on-one conversations?
Have
'Cause
they mentioned it?
they
No.
haven't, but, I mean, could we say, to the extent, you know, we also believe that one-on-one conversations will be important with some key stakeholders. To the
Right.
extent your proposal doesn't include those,
Right.
please
Right.
provide us with a cost for a maximum of 4.
Yeah.
Can we do that?
Yes, okay.
Okay. It would just be to the extent.
Okay,
Each such meeting, the
in
maximum,
in
of course, we
addition-
want the individual
Yeah,
cost,
that's
although we
true.
can do the math, we can divide.
Yeah.
in addition
To the extent,
to the extent,
actually, in addition, before to the extent, say it is our expectation,
yeah.
Or desire, I don't think it's.
Is it our thought?
We are considering
Our
that.
thought, yeah, I think I like thought.
is our thought, that's fine, that one-on-one conversations with key stakeholders will be,
Maybe,
Beneficial.
yeah, may be beneficial.
It's stakeholders, not sure.
May be necessary.
well, I would say will be, because we want them to do it.
Well, do we?
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
I like what you said before. You were first saying that one-on-one were not in their proposal.
No, I was saying that it's our expectation that one-on-one conversations with key stakeholders will be beneficial in deepening in whatever. To the extent that your proposal does not include.
Right.
We didn't ask for that in
That-
our RFP.
I know,
Oh,
but
no, we
we,
did not.
we assume that they would be.
Where in
that
the,
would
where in
be-
the RFP do they talk about if you want more, we'll charge? I'm trying to find that.
So it
Isn't it
is,
the end?
I'm looking, I can't find it. because-
In the RFP or their proposal?
so in their
In their proposal,
proposal,
rather.
in step 2, they say
Oh, step 2, okay.
1 meeting and 2 meetings.
That's for
And
the focus.
no, remember
And
there's
then
that little
way at the end.
sentence somewhere, yeah.
That
Right.
way at the end.
Can't find it though. I want to see how they.
So section 4, approach to project. Notes
Let's say
about this
meetings,
plan.
let's say meetings, don't you think?
There was something about, should you want more, blah, blah, blah.
Conduct
And-
stakeholder focus group meeting, parentheses S, with number of meetings determined by number and type of participant.
Right.
Yeah, they've got that, but
They
they
don't have
also
it.
have something that says,
So they do have, they are leading.
oh, there you go,
a-
okay, notes about, okay, section 4, approach to project.
You don't have it.
Why don't I have that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's right here.
Here it is, no. Why
And
don't I
so
have
if
that?
it's one
Oh, here
meeting,
it is,
it's
right?
4260,
No.
and if it's 2 meetings, it's 5,000.
Yeah.
Wow, it didn't print
Well,
out.
that's-
Yeah, it's something, it's something else.
That's
that
the
we're looking at.
stakeholder.
That's
Okay,
the
well, this
focus
one
group.
was.
Right.
Right.
Plan
We're
presumes-
talking about one-on-one meetings.
Yeah.
Where they
Okay,
put
here it
the
is.
same
The
cost.
plan
Well, I
presumes
don't
education
know
will be
whether
created
they-
once players are so.
I don't know that they think that's necessary.
Well, and
That's right.
the other, at least some of the other
Sure,
planners
this is a meeting.
included
No,
that.
no, it's not a
And so
meeting.
it seems to me.
No, we're not counting this in the
it's
meeting.
just gonna be-
This is a separate thing.
Separate.
I
This is
mean,
about
I don't know how
education.
much mainline health is gonna be forthcoming in a focus group gathering
Especially
about
if it
their
includes
plans
10.
for,
Well,
so.
I'll tell you what is gonna happen about mainline health.
Well, it doesn't
They're
matter
gonna
which one, but I
say
mean.
nothing till the American Heart Association gives them some
Okay,
guidance.
well, maybe that's a bad example then, but one of them, I'm just thinking, if we wanna drill down into what they're planning for the
Right.
next 10 years, they
Right.
probably have some idea.
Well, they already
You know,
have
I think
Green
that's
Route.
probably gonna happen more in a one-on-one context. So, and I was, some of the other proposals include some
Right.
figuring out who
So-
are the key stakeholders.
But what we need
so
to
it-
know is the cost, additional cost of more meetings.
To the extent that that's not included, maybe they are anticipating connecting with individual stakeholders, I
I
don't
think
know.
they would put it in if they were.
Yeah, I think they would too. So they're gonna, this is the stakeholder. They're gonna do a quick survey for us on the key stakeholders to be categorized by educational, healthcare, commercial, retail, large residential developers, faith community, and residents, which is pretty much what we've done.
Yeah.
Perform a full Google map evaluation of key energy users. Identify key transportation and utility entities. Reach out to the Chamber of Commerce, we don't have one. Generate a list of proposed stakeholders and detailed plan for conducting the focus groups for Green Team and Township review approval. Conduct stakeholder focus group meetings, S, with number of meetings determined by number and type of participants. Provide township officials in the Green Team with a full summary of focus findings and recommendations.
Well, so they're saying there'll be a number of meetings determined by the type of participants.
Yes.
What, we need clarification. How many meetings are you proposing, are paid for in the proposal, and we think we'll need a minimum of X?
Right, so they are saying 1 meeting would be 4,260.
Right, and 2 meetings is
That's for the
5,000.
focus group meetings.
Right.
Yeah, there's no one-on-one, and I'm wondering, having done it in Philadelphia and doing it in Westchester, whether they're feeling, it's their feeling that they need one-on-one meetings.
But
That's,
they don't say it. I think they would say it if
and
they.
so do I.
If they would say it if they thought they needed it?
Yeah.
Well, I guess if we want this to be Radnor specific,
Yep.
I mean, this is also about getting buy-in of some key stakeholders for this plan.
Well, I'm
Exactly,
assuming
yeah.
that that's what the focus meetings are gonna do.
The focus groups, yeah. But,
I mean, I don't see that, I mean, we don't need to say meetings, we can say conversations. I guess I just, I mean, just the one-on-one, it seems you're gonna get below the surface a
Right.
bit more.
Well, yes, but
And that's what I'm concerned about.
a conversation could be either on the phone or face to face, or, so
It could be.
it's not fair to them to cost something that's that vague.
Okay, well,
Um,
and I don't mean to make an issue of this. If you all are comfortable
Well, it could
without
be,
it, I just.
it could be that the sustainability person at Penn Med, and I happen to have the emails, the names and the emails of the contacts, because I've been working behind the scenes to get some of these contacts. It may be that they, the focus group say, would you email us, send us a copy of your sustainability plan? Simple as that.
It might or might not.
May or may not.
I'm imagining that, well, you know, that, I guess I just don't want this to all be a function of the extent to which stakeholders you know, kind of unprompted and you know, kind of engaged are coming forward with useful information, and how much there needs to be some sort of give and take and, you know, teasing it out of them.
I don't know, I'm not an energy plan.
So,
Well, you know.
you're validating the request for one-to-one meetings?
Well, that's my impression, and since it was included in some of the others.
Yes, I
I'm kind of thinking.
think
it
most
would
of
be
us
useful
agree
to
with you.
explain. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're on board with that, so, that's why we added this.
And that's
paragraph.
perfect.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Oh, okay.
I said 5 meetings. I mean, we can always pay them back. I don't know.
I mean, they came in.
Obviously, these things are negotiated at final end with all of these vendors.
Well, it's just easier to present it to the commissioners.
You've got to present a
Yeah.
solid, not to exceed.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what we want to tell the commissioners. A, that it's the lowest bid, and it's
Right.
not to exceed X dollars.
Right.
And then we have to come up with why we want them.
Mhm.
Can I-
Let's get this letter done first.
Can I ask what might be a really stupid question? What is the difference between the 1 or 2 stakeholder focus group meeting, MUSA,
Right.
in step 2 with what we're talking about now? And did they offer us 2 because they don't know how many stakeholder one-on-one focus group? I mean, those might be one-on-one focus group meetings. They just don't know how many that we wanted. 1, 2, 5, 7.
Right, but I always thought a
Focus
focus
group.
group is everyone at once.
Everyone at once?
Mhm.
That's my assumption.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, it's
Oh,
kind
it'd
of
be
an
hard to have a
introductory
focus
thing.
group with one person.
It's an
Yeah.
introductory thing, and then,
Well, I
They-
thought there might be more than one person with a particular focus.
and then they will want to get back to us, and it may be an easy thing to get back to us without another meeting, but sometimes you may need a one-to-one meeting for them to get back to us, to talk through it.
No, I understand the benefit of having one category of entity.
Right.
And them. But I was wondering if they were thinking that that's what they meant when they said conduct stakeholder focus group. Well, maybe not. I mean, I'm seeing a little ambiguity in stakeholder focus group meetings with all
I know.
types of entities versus,
Mhm.
I don't want to
I know,
confuse things
it-
any
it-
further, but.
No.
Due to scheduling conflicts, we're going to have at least two focus group meetings.
I bet that's right.
We're gonna.
Well, you pretty well asked it.
I don't want to change the RFP in any
So
way.
what's this number 1 in the last paragraph?
So
Oh,
it's
so you just need to
kind of an
change it.
addendum.
Could you start it with, we are definitely interested in having support with education and outreach during the development of the energy transition plan?
Okay, so we don't need to
But it is
review.
for an additional charge.
Please
Should
let
we
us know
agree?
what the charge would be.
Well, but I don't think you need to the last paragraph of your proposal. We're definitely interested in it. And
Okay.
what would be the cost?
Please provide the cost.
Please provide the cost of,
So remove the purple, remove the purple.
Yeah.
word?
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Okay. We're having support during the development. Okay, what would be the additional cost?
Well, and I think I've changed, I think that I would take the sentence, this is just me speaking. We feel it is important to introduce the township to your proposal and inform them. Put that first. And then we are definitely interested in having support with education. What would be the additional cost?
Okay.
I do not understand how
Goes-
cut doesn't make it go away completely. This is.
That's the miracle of
Hobby.
computers.
But this is not what.
This is Word, yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
Cut,
yes.
cuts it where it is, but it doesn't say it's cut it from.
When I cut, it goes
And
away.
I don't-
have to do copy.
As you offered as an option
We are
in
definitely.
your proposal.
No, just, you don't have to say in your proposal. Because we're,
Well, and the
We are-
two don't follow.
And they
As you
don't-
offered, we are interested, doesn't it?
right,
Okay,
They
fine,
follow.
all right. As you offered.
having support in education and outreach materials. I don't think you need during the
No,
development of
yeah,
the
no,
energy plan.
period. Right
Yes,
after
we do.
materials.
Yeah, because
Yes, we
they're
do.
saying the educational materials would be developed towards the end of the project.
When the plan is finalized,
Right.
but. we-
So what would be the additional cost?
Right, so we need to keep during the
All right,
development.
what would
Okay.
be the additional cost?
Right, so is this okay, folks?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Additional cost.
Just cost?
Is the bolding something that we're going to go back?
No, we're
Yeah.
gonna.
That's just-
We have a lot of typos to fix, we know that, so we'll get them at the end. Some of them may disappear.
Add on.
Additional,
So they said additional charge, so we could just say what
What
would be the additional
cost?
Well,
You can
cost
leave
or
off this
additional
For this,
charge.
what would be the cost for this additional support?
Yes, would be, take out the first additional,
the cost of this additional
take
Yeah, we
the
don't need it.
cost of this additional
work.
Support.
Support.
Support, yeah. Okay.
So do we need this in this regard?
Yes, I just think it's a nice lead on, because we're up in the other paragraph, we're kind of jumping across their proposal when they were in the.
What do you think, Robin?
I'm fine with either way, doesn't matter to me.
It might give them an idea of, we don't expect them to
I don't think
develop
you're-
something brand new for us.
What are you looking for?
Gives them an idea of,
What are you looking
Yeah.
for, Dan?
I'm fixing the font.
Yeah. My goodness.
Yeah, Calibri.
Calibri.
And take out all the underlines
and the bold.
and the
I
bullets.
can't read anything. I can't
Do you
work.
know how to do that?
Yeah, he's got it. Bold, underline.
Editing.
Yeah. Oh, and there's some italic up
This-
there too.
This can all be edited.
We need to
I'll
take
do
it out.
the,
Right.
I'll
Yeah.
do the
Do a
editing
good
tonight.
proof.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I've
So-
gotta get it on, I've gotta space it. I'm just
Good.
gonna send it to Jennifer.
We trust you.
Yeah.
Yes.
You trust me?
Better get it right.
We trust you.
Okay, so let's read.
Don't
Thank
forget-
you,
Okay,
no, thank you
Thank
for
you.
coming.
Thanks for coming.
I'm a little concerned about the last sentence.
Wait, had I seen that shirt before? That is so cool.
Sarah gave it to me from Roberta.
Oh,
Roberta
wow.
got
Wow.
it somewhere.
Print yours,
Nice.
Roberta get 'em.
She's minute, so it had to go to a minute person and it's out.
I like it,
I
yeah.
got one
It's
from Penn
beautiful.
Environment. I got
Did
one
you?
from Penn Environment. We went to,
Bye.
Hey,
Bye-bye.
take
See
care.
you guys later.
in fact, I had 2 of them.
Nice.
Well, my husband went with me to Harrisburg, and so he immediately put it in his backpack. I said, "No, Jim, I think they want you to wear it."
It can be done as Dan, leave it alone and
It's all right.
I'll do the formatting when I get home.
All right.
Okay, so the last paragraph.
Mhm.
I
Oh, yeah,
think
now it's sort of out
It's-
of order.
We should
we-
just say, we must submit the total anticipated.
We must submit the total anticipated cost to the Board
Well,
of
let's put that up
Commissioners.
ahead
Well,
in the beginning, because
No,
I think it's fine there.
Yeah.
we request clarification in order to present to the Board of Commissioners for the 2020 budget.
well, I think we should have a time frame in there if we're gonna.
Yes,
say
we
that.
need ASAP.
well, some are requests and some are clarifications.
Well,
So-
but we have to keep,
Well, we're requesting
we're
clarification.
requesting clarification as soon as possible
Well, also-
in order to present it to the Board of Commissioners.
Right, I would
On
just
what
say
day?
keep it as request.
Should we give them a date that we want to present
Because
it?
you're
Yeah.
requesting
Okay.
dollars in
Okay.
one paragraph and you're requesting clarification in another.
Well,
Okay,
by October 7th.
So that's when we need to present it to the,
I need to, at the latest, I mean, I think this last sentence should be rewritten.
Okay, well, why don't you rewrite it the way
Yeah,
you
just
think
spit
you
it out
want
as you would like it, so.
rewrite it. Because you
appreciate-
know the interface with
appreciate
them better
receiving.
than we do.
It is important that we receive.
And we're asking for formatting, is that all we're asking for in this last, is that what that means?
Ruth?
Disregard, the green team was impressed with a toolbox and a great deal of information available. We would like your assistance in formatting. Is that all we're really requesting for that?
I hope it's,
Okay. What does that mean?
yeah, I was gonna.
well, it means, well, maybe we should say customizing rather than formatting.
So what? we wanna
Customating
do-
information for Radnor Township.
Yeah.
And
So, I
Customizing.
don't really look at it, they give us like 134 pages,
Yeah.
so
Customizing.
some of
Yeah.
that would be really
Customizing
good
this
to use.
information.
In a hard copy? What are we
To
asking for?
No,
Radnor Township.
I would imagine we're
Or
asking
four.
it for it in chunks that are, bite-sized. So,
Yeah.
like topical or something.
Right, right.
I mean, I don't know that we
Yeah.
even really need to say it. They would probably think of the same thing.
we're using Radnor Township as a catch-all for everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's used, for the municipal people. Okay. All right.
So I would say we must submit the total anticipated cost of this project to the Board of Commissioners by October 7th.
Right.
Yeah.
And just,
Right.
so we just.
What, you want to simplify it?
Yes.
Yeah,
Uh,
just up through because.
Just go back, don't,
No,
What?
don't take
Don't
all
We
of
make
that.
these requests because it's the only stuff that comes out. Right?
Yeah, we make these requests because, yeah, so that goes out. Right, nope, nope.
Nope, leave we.
There we go.
Okay.
Delete.
Delete.
Oh, wait,
What?
I'm just going to go we.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go.
You, yeah, we had a wee before.
Okay. It's kind of abrupt. I mean,
It
you should
is.
put it a little nicer.
But it's the truth.
I know. We respectfully request
Your
a
response.
response.
So that we may, or no, maybe it's 2 sentences. We respectfully request your response
Kindly
by.
provide your.
Yes.
We are kindly provide
Your
by.
response.
Revised
By.
at your revised cost.
No, kindly provide.
Yes, please kindly provide.
Yeah, we're not the kind ones. We're asking them.
Yeah.
Please
Yeah.
kindly
We're getting punchy.
provide.
responses to this letter.
Your responses to these
Requests.
requests by October 7th.
Let's just say, please provide or kindly provide.
Yeah, one or the other.
Both.
I'd leave that, please.
I could go either way, but not both for sure.
To these requests, to either this request or these requests.
You're gonna catch all that anyway, so.
Yeah.
Because
Yes,
you're
you
gonna
are.
get it
You
super
can, you can do the
proofread.
final edit, okay?
Yeah.
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 So,
Yeah.
Just
Off
rewrite
this,
it, change
but
the
this
number.
leads almost directly
Oh,
into
yeah.
a discussion of the educational session that we have scheduled for October 29th.
Yeah, and we don't need to take a lot of time on this. It's just that Sarah and I were, looking at the proposals, and some of them, had, a very, sort of a more robust, educational component.
Yes.
Community educational component. And such that it gave us a little bit of pause about whether or not we should be trying to proceed with our own educational forms before we've had a chance to, confer with the planner about that. And does it make sense to hold up, or should we plan on going ahead? We're, the thinking about this is that we need to really build community engagement and buy-in about all this, and people aren't aware, so it seemed like the forums were a good idea, and they'll be televised so that they can, be on the website. But are we getting ahead of our skis if we don't have the planner in place to provide maybe a little bit of,
I think it's a
advice?
good thing to consider, but I haven't given it 10 seconds of thought. My preference would be to go ahead. There may be a little bit of redundancy, but even that's not a bad thing to have, to reinforce. And I think we really do have to start getting our foot in the door. So, yeah, maybe this kind of stuff gets covered again later on with our consultant, but it's just going to reinforce what we started with early on. So I think that, on balance, I think it makes sense to go ahead.
Okay.
I don't think it'll be a waste.
Great.
Oh, I don't think it's a waste, because we could start with merging the two PowerPoints plus the photographs that we have of Radnor Township and reintroduce Ready for 100.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully name the planner and
Yeah.
do that, and then
Talk
get
about
Michael
it.
in,
Right, for
Michael
people.
Schneller to come in, which is the really low fruit, which is the energy audits.
Sounds good, and I haven't heard back from Orange Solutions was considering it, and I haven't heard back, so, they don't have to talk long, we can figure out if there's
Right.
time for all three, but,
So we're thinking of an evening meeting for that?
Yes.
Okay.
At, here, so we can televise it.
It's
So-
in the
Okay.
Radnorshire room, it's all locked
Okay.
up. So,
So.
the to-do list is, we've got the date, we've got the yes from Bob Zinkowski. We need to create an internet flyer, and I thought to ask Becca to do it. We need sort of a catchy phrase in the next 3 or 4 days
Mhm.
that will, I'll go to that. We also need to, all of us, ask. There's nothing like a face-to-face.
Mhm.
A slide presentation, sharing some flyers. We can send the flyer to the Legalmen voters, the
And
Radnor
Conservancy,
Conservancy,
yeah.
each and every commissioner.
Yep.
Get a press release, do sign-in sheets and handouts. So I
So,
guess the
okay.
flyer is the next
Yeah.
thing.
Okay, so we need another meeting.
Yes, so when can we meet again?
Where did we ever bring my calendar? So it's the first today,
Right.
and we're looking at the.
We would meet before the commissioners meeting, is that the idea?
Oh, I think, yeah. I
Okay.
think,
Commissioners
I
meeting's
think
on
we
the
should
13th, is that
schedule
right?
a
I mean, on
meeting
the
next
14th.
week.
I'm sorry,
Commissioners
Sarah?
meeting.
I think
on
we
the
should
7th.
have a meeting
Right.
next week.
Well, are we talking about, the main thing is for us to be at the one on the 21st, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But, so is there anything, but next, we were asking by Monday for Practical Energy Solutions to reply to us.
Yeah.
So we probably need another meeting on Tuesday to look at their reply and how it fits in and where we see holes, I would think.
I
Well-
can do that.
Yes.
Okay, so I thought there was a commissioners meeting on the 7th. when we
That
had
is
that.
Monday.
Right. So we're gonna meet after that, but on the 7th, is it gonna be?
No, not on the 7th, she's talking the 8th, right?
Well, Ruth is raising a good point though, because if Steve wants to get the cost in on the.
Well, I'd
Seven.
like, actually, if all went well, and they got the PDF tomorrow morning, and Steve called tomorrow afternoon, he might have a cost by Wednesday afternoon.
All right, so, but your thing is that we would just use a placeholder and then we will find out
Right.
and make a determination on the 8th?
Yes.
Okay, so, we're meeting on the 8th
Can we meet on
at
the 8th?
6:30?
Yeah.
Okay.
6:30
Yep.
on the 8th.
Okay. And I'm going to sit out here right now.
Don't forget your eggs.
Thank you.
So what time is the commissioners meeting?
Starts at 6:30.
Okay.
And I'm afraid it may be, I don't know whether any of you, I know Robin does, knows about the Republicans' press conference in front of Emlyn Tennell's statue last Thursday, where they called for John Nagel to resign and they really went after Elaine Schaefer.
What?
Jeez.
Yes. Yes. It was pretty bad. It's
Okay.
all
Are we
about
done?
Phil
Yeah.
R. Phil R is, and my mind is
Phil
the
R's done and
excuse.
over with, right?
Yes,
In
Yeah,
jail.
yeah, but there are elections.
but there is an election in November and Elaine is running for county council.
Yeah, so they want to make her accountable for him? I'm
Yes.
got confused.
They want to make her accountable for him because Phil was accused and Phil
Oh,
was
I see.
president.
That whole thing.
And they wanted Phil to not be the president, and Elaine, Higgins, and Nagel voted to keep Phil as president until such time as he was formally charged. And they're holding it against him. Now,
Take care, Katrina.
Bye, Katrina. See ya, Katrina. I hope your leg's better soon.
Sarah,
Yeah.
we can do the follow-up on the education stuff online, I think.
Yes,
And if we can just send the request to Becca and Ally.
yes.
I guess we'll just need to we won't have all the details, but.
Well, we'll have everything, but we could do everything but the title.
Well, we won't have the speakers
Right.
confirmed.
Now, when you say a website, there's a Ready for 100 website under Radnor Township.
Yes,
That's what you're talking about?
yes,
Okay,
yes.
okay. Now, the commissioners meeting on the 8th, Tuesday?
No,
No,
it's
it's
on the 7th.
Monday.
Monday.
Monday at 6:30.
Okay.
Our meeting, however, is not meeting.
Our meeting is Tuesday.
So your goal is, or have achieved getting our proposal put forward as an introductory.
No. Bob knows it's here.
Okay.
He does not know that we are
Sure.
90%, 95% sure we've chosen him.
Right.
What I'm going to ask him is, the staff presents the budget on Monday night.
Okay.
That's the staff's budget, that's not the commissioner's budget.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask him to put a placeholder for the energy expert, and I'm gonna try to divine what the maximum cost would be.
And what was
Hopefully-
their number? It was 33 something?
There's 32,780. I'm thinking 36.
that should be certainly adequate.
Right.
I'm gonna ask that Bob put it into the staff proposal as a placeholder at $36,000.
It's under staff because he's working for the
Staff.
township.
It's a proposal
It's a
from the staff.
proposal from the
The
staff.
staff,
The
okay.
staff figures out what they think their budget's gonna be. That doesn't include capital projects.
Okay, great.
So that's my goal. And I-
36.5.
36.
Good.
It sounds like we've, you know,
Really, 36,
Well-
5,
because
17.
we've really, you know, given this a lot of.
We give ourselves a
36.5
$500
sounds like-
margin of error.
Yeah.
So it's about $800 per meeting if this, so going from one meeting to two meetings.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
so
what I
we're
figured it
asking
was.
for 5,
Another $3,000 roughly.
but it would be 4,000.
Yeah.
We're talking, 4,000 for 5 one-to-one meetings at 800.
I'm okay
And
with
that-
36.
I'm okay with 36.
36.
Right.
Okay.
And that doesn't include the assistance with the educational and outreach material.
I think that's gonna be, here's the information. I mean,
And-
because they don't know what we already have.
Right. Also, if the township negotiates with them for 36, they will adjust the materials work they do accordingly, right?
Right.
To meet that.
Right.
Okay.
All right.
36,000.
You have to save that document.
Let's stay here all night, shall we?
Well, I'm fine with either one. You okay, Sarah, with editing and getting it off?
Yes. Fantastic.
Oh, she's already put 1 and 2 in correct chronological order.
Ruth told me to do that.
I was just making me very.
I wonder what happened to Ruth today. Now I know what I get to do.
Whose was that?
That's
Desktop.
my that is the sunflower that was growing the first year that we did the community garden at the Radnor United Methodist Church
Wow.
graveyard, and Sam Strike
Wow.
took the picture. She
Wow.
came to see us, and
Beautiful.
That's really nice.
so, and Robin, I'm getting solar on my roof.
Ooh. See, there was a reason that tree had to come down.
Well, and what's interesting, this is a tip. Last week, Verdi Energy hacked all my alternative energy. Yes, it was a mess. I had to get to Pico, I had to get to Dominion, who does my gas, I had to go back to Clean Energy. They fed me this whole long sum, didn't matter what I said, they canceled it, made it Verdi. So I had to call them all up. I negotiated better rates while I was
Oh,
doing
good for
it.
you.
Whoa.
So the answer is, you switch around from time
So
to
who's
time.
doing your solar?
Vivint Solar is doing it,
Vidrant.
V-I-V-A-N-T.
and I will get 70% of my energy off the solar panels. And it's not costing me a dime. Sunrun wanted 17,000 up front.
So they're leasing your roof.
Wow.
You have a nice roof.
Wow, that's really interesting.
Now, you know, I could have waited for solarized, but the truth of it is, and the inverters are all mini, and they're in the panels.
Wow. Wow.
So it was a very interesting conversation, like 3 hours long.
So
last
that was
Friday.
that was with Pico, you had the conversation?
No, I had the Pico with Vivint.
Cool.
In face to face.
Sarah, that's very exciting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Guys, this meeting, October 29th, residential energy efficiency. It's going
Right.
to have Pico and hopefully Orange Energy Solutions.
Right.
Will they also be discussing how we can presently switch from brown electricity to green
That's his
electricity?
second,
That's the
that's
second-
the second
meeting.
forum.
That's the
That's
one
the
on
one
the
in
12th of
November.
November.
And honestly, everyone's saying green energy is coming down. it would be nice if somehow they could speak to that without showing favoritism for the most bidder. But it's just, that's.
Well, I think it'll get into what you're getting, which is, you know, it's partly how much do you want your purchasing to stimulate the renewable economy in Pennsylvania.
Right.
Right, it's more expensive, but,
And how concerned are you?
yeah.
Yeah, it's like writing your check at the end of the year.
Thanks, Sarah.
Charitable
You're welcome.
contribution.
Thank you.
Yep.
You want this one?
I'll take it. Hold it out then. All right, so now
Send it to Chester for Bernie.
well, that's the next one.
Did you see that there's a Mascaro that has developed a process that they're gonna be piloting, they've got a big grant.
Oh, that's the one in Pottstown,
Yeah,
over $2 million.
for the
Flexible
wrappers
plastic.
for, yeah, like,
Yeah.
yeah, for like, you know, wrappers for bars and, you know,
All the
potato
plastic
chip
bags,
bars
all the
and
flexible
stuff.
plastic
like
bags.
chip bags and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yep.
so they're gonna start in
got
Pottstown and
over
to
$2
recycle.
million
Are
grant.
they gonna manufacture?
No, they're gonna recycle
But I
because,
don't know what happens after they recycle.
no, it's what they make Trex out of.
Oh, that's right,
Trex is
that's right,
made
that's
from
what they said,
flexible
yeah.
plastic bags and sawdust.
What is?
Trex.
Those,
Those,
that
artificial
artificial
fake
The
deck
decking.
boards.
Wow.
that
It's
you put
decking.
something on.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
hugely exciting.
Yes.
And Pottstown can use that.
Yes, they
Yes.
can, because it's
It's
gonna
gonna
give
give-
jobs.
Yeah, all this green
et
stuff's
cetera.
just gonna kill jobs,
I
folks.
know.
I mean, you know,
Wow.
it's just gonna create a.
I didn't see that, that is huge.
Takeaway job.
Wow.
Yeah, I saw it on Facebook, I think.
Wow.
Yep.
Just move all of West Virginia up to Pottstown.
No, that's gonna
Well,
be
that's
very
jobs.
interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm watching a
So
series.
the
Well, then
township
that
was awarded
makes me feel
SOS
better.
financial accounting up to
I've
2013.
got piles.
No, they've got,
Probably stopped.
no.
I look at
there's
them and I
one
go,
better.
I once had a panic
Well, they
attack
were-
in
well, they were
Wawa's. I
rewarding
just saw all
themselves
these
with
chip bags and stuff and I
all
pulled
that
one out of the
scandal.
store. I thought, this is.
Well, I
Okay, well,
currently,
we really